I have no idea what we're doing. Whoops. Timing belt still attached? Hey guys, Daniel Sung, welcome back to the channel, and we're back with the Turbo Fiat project. Now, as you guys know, this car was given to me by the car wizard because I expressed some interest in tuning and building cars and stuff like that. Now, I have dabbled in tuning before, but nothing to this extent. I haven't built a car from scratch, built a harness from scratch, and then tuned it completely. Now, with that said, I definitely have to say thank you to Auto Recombi. If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't have a solid platform where we can build up from there and for the car to be reliable after we do all these mods, because we're increasing the horsepower. So the links are going to be in the description. So if you need some Fiat parts, go ahead and check out their website. And if you're looking for some tutorials to fix your own car, go ahead and check out their YouTube channel. Now in the previous video, we're just kind of getting the idea of how things are going to go together. So we mocked up the turbo, we mocked up the intake. We also got some ideas on maybe how to put the fuel rail on. But I did forget something very important. A friend of ours actually came to visit, and I totally forgot to add that clip on the previous video. So I'm going to go ahead and add it now. There's a special guest that came all the way from the other side of Kansas to come test drive the car. I actually tricked them into it. So yeah, right here we got Magic Mike the mechanic, as you guys know. And yeah, just tell the audience where they can find you.
Hi everybody, my name is Michael. You might know me as Magic Mike the mechanic. I'm back here in some old stomping grounds to do a little bit of filming with Daniel. Take a test drive on this beautiful, I use that term loosely, Fiat 124. But I'm interested to see it. It sounds like you've made quite a bit of progress. I've been watching the videos and it's a pretty good series. So yeah, we'll definitely take a look and take a spin and see how it feels.
Okay, so no more talking. Let's go for a test drive.
You're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good, you're good.
Don't worry, Captain. We'll pop out those scratches. So I had to pull out the car myself because of insurance reasons, but now we're gonna swap and he's gonna drive. So yeah. Ready?
Yeah. Let me climb over.
So sticky.
Yeah, I was gonna hand that to you. The steering wheel has seen better days too. I'm afraid I'm gonna break it.
Not gonna leave the parking lot, obviously, because we don't have a tag, we don't have insurance, we don't have any of that, and also the tires are 20 years old. So we're staying in this parking lot to keep it safe, at least as much as we can.
Yeah.
So yeah, go for it, sir.
You don't need a turbo on this. You don't need a turbo.
It doesn't need it. It wants it.
These tires. These poor tires. That's pretty good. I'm always a fan of leaving something factory, you know, how the manufacturer's intended, but man, this thing's gonna be a widow maker when you put a turbo on it. Alright, one more pull. Oh. Oh.
Is the timing belt still attached? It's just bad driving, that's all.
My first burnout was so good.
Well, give it more gas and dump the clutch after.
If I can find first, there
it is.
It's pretty good. Pretty good acceleration. I know we can't go too far in it, but this is definitely going to be a fun little project with the turbo on it. And maybe a new clutch.
Okay, so now I'm going to test drive it with him on the passenger seat, because I don't think he really pushed it that hard.
Wait for the kid on the bicycle to go by. You don't want to hit him.
Yep, let's wait, let's wait. that's good.
She survived.
Yeah, that means I fixed it right.
Yep. Your oil, I'm guessing your oil pressure gauge probably just doesn't work. Because it's been at 0 this whole time.
It runs very thin oil. Very, very thin.
I sure hope so.
You can also hear the pilot bearing making noise.
But a turbo is more important than any of that.
Well, yeah. Speaking of good friends, I definitely got to say thank you to Tavarish. He gave me a shout out on his channel. I don't even know how to say thank you to that. It's just amazing. So I really, really appreciate it. Again, that's awesome, man. I really do. Thank you. Also got to give a shout out to my buddy Eric. He's the guy who radio controlled the P1 motor, which is insane. He's also the guy who's been teaching me tuning and electrical wiring and all that stuff for years now. And I also got to say thank you to him. Okay, so on this video, I have no idea what we're doing. And the reason is because we got so much stuff to do, I don't even know where to start. But I guess the best thing to do is to start. So let's go ahead and start with the exhaust, put the gasket on there, tighten all the bolts and get all that ready, and maybe work from there on out. We also have the copper pipes, so we can cut those down, start mocking everything up, and then get everything soldered together and see how that works. I don't know if it'll work. Just, I guess, wish me luck on that one. Now this right here is the old gasket. We have a new one, so let's go ahead and replace that. Okay, so I need to go ahead and clean the welds on this. The reason being is that V-band clamp, or whatever it's called, it gets caught on the welds, unfortunately. So we're gonna go ahead and clean those off a little bit. Gentleman actually told me to do this. I haven't done it yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and do it today. So the turbo manifold is installed, it's torqued down with a new gasket and everything, and that U-pipe is on there tight. Now I'm not going to put the turbo on just yet because I still have to take care of this harness. Whoops. More than likely, I'm going to have to cut it all out. Maybe just leave some of the original wiring on there. I'm not sure, just maybe save some time. Or just eliminate the wires that I'm not going to need on this harness and try to cover up the rest to avoid it getting melted by the turbo. Now these are decisions that I'll make later when the harness is actually being made. I might be able to cut all the old stuff out and add new stuff in. I'm not sure yet. Maybe for the sake of time, I'm not sure. This is something when we get there, we'll know more. But for now, we're going to go ahead and work on getting the intercooler set up. We got the exhaust, turbo manifold sorted already. And the next thing is also the intake. So we need to figure out how to do those injectors, how to put the knock sensor on there and run the wiring for it and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and continue. So I was able to find a OEM cable for cars that have been fuel injected this is actually the cable, the original cable for this intake. So it reaches perfectly and it works with the stock pedal. So that was lucky. Now this one is used. I did find it with some of the parts that we ordered for the FI kit. We got this and I found it in the box, so that was lucky. It was a free cable, so can't really argue with that. Now that I got the intake off, we're gonna go ahead and try again to get the injectors installed. Now I've decided to use these little guys. These are little stainless steel. It actually belongs to like a stage 8 hardware mounting kit for like exhaust. These are the little guys that kind of hold everything together. They prevent the bolt from backing off, but I think these should work perfectly fine. So I'm going to use these. We're going to have to drill the hole out a little bit more, and we're going to use these to kind of hold the injector down so it doesn't pop off, and that way we can finish the intake and get it ready for installation whenever the wiring harness is done. Okay, so right now, as you can see, the connector for the injector sits very close, and unfortunately it won't sit flush. So we're gonna have to go ahead and maybe take a little bit of that metal out so it sits flush and I'm able to plug in the connector. That shouldn't affect our mounting bracket that we're going to be using. So I'm going to go ahead and mark it with Sharpie, and then we're going to have to shave that down and drill the hole here a little bit bigger because it's too small to fit over the injector. So we got ourselves here, I believe this is a 1/2 inch, or the next step lower. I can't remember what the size is off the top of my head. We're going to go ahead and drill it out, test fit it, and then if we have to, go a bit, one size bigger. Okay, so we need to get a bigger drill bit. So we got it drilled out just a little bit bigger so it actually fits over. So this is what's going to hold it down. Now we still got to shave it down a little bit there just so the connector will fit over it, but this will be a very nice tight hold down for this injector. So right now we're going to work on basically putting the injector in there. Now as you can see, there's not much room there, so we need to grind that off like I said earlier. Now I did a practice run on this side. I couldn't really find a burr. We have one, I don't know where it is, so I decided to use something different, which I'll show you here right now, but it did work. We have clearance right now, and I might clearance it a little bit more. I don't think I need to though, but we got enough room so that for the connector to slide in properly and for that to work. So I finished the intake. Now let's go through it. I decided to do it off camera so I could concentrate because I just don't know how to pay attention to both things. Not that smart, but we'll go through it just so you guys see what I actually did. Now let's start right here. As you can see, we have these tabs. So I basically shaved it. It has a little bit of adjustment and stuff like that, but I shaved them down here so I could fit the connector. I shaved it down here more so I have more room for the connector to make sure that works. We decided to use that method. We crimped it here, and then we used a removable clamp up here so it can be serviced. I already test fitted it on the car. It fits very well. So I'm really happy with this. And as you can see, everything is solid in there. Everything's pushed in properly. So yeah, this came out a lot better than I hoped. So let's go ahead and test fit it on the car so you guys can see it. I can't install the intake completely just yet because we still have a lot of wiring to do, and I'm gonna have to remove it. As you know, the knock sensor is right beneath it, so we need access to it. But at least we can see how it looks. So I'll just bolt it in real quick. So right here you can see how we have the knock sensor. We got plenty of room. The injectors are right here. I don't think we need any more sensors in this area. I think those are the only ones. Well, this one and then the injectors. And I think that's it, but I'm not 100% sure, so I'm not gonna tighten this down with a gasket and everything. I'm gonna wait until I have the wiring harness at least measured out and built and ready to go. Now we have, you know, one port here, and then another one here. Now this one is going to be our inlet. This is where the fuel line, the feed line is going to go in. I still haven't chosen which one of these two is going to be the return line. Either this one, which probably will go from here to the fuel pressure regulator, and then I'll cap this one off, or from this one to the fuel pressure regulator. I'm still not sure. Okay, so we're getting some really decent progress done on the car. We got that turbo all the way mounted. We still have to do the downpipe and obviously the intercooler, but then we also have the intake, that fuel rail, which was actually worrying me a little bit because I wasn't sure what to do, but I figured it out. I'm happy with it. And then we can also move on to do the fuel pump. So we can go from the fuel tank all the way up here. So we have a pre-filter, fuel pump, and post-filter just to make sure that's a nice clean system. We might have to add some fittings to the tank. I'm not sure yet, but it's gonna be an external pump because we couldn't really find anything to sort it out properly to have a internal fuel pump. So we're gonna have to do an external, and I already have it. So we'll figure that out, but then we can finally hook everything up here and have fuel to our injectors, which we definitely need. Now the next video, my plan is to finish up the intercooler system and then the fuel system, just get those two things done because we need to move to wiring. Wiring is gonna take a lot of time, it's gonna take a lot of patience and a lot of materials. So we definitely need to make way and start doing that already. So I'm probably gonna have to set up something at home after measuring everything. So those videos are probably gonna be at my house, sitting down and, you know, just splicing wires. So that'll be fun. I kind of like that stuff, and Yeah, I'm really excited about that one. Now, with all that said, I'm gonna go ahead and end the video right here. If you really like this video, go ahead, like, share, and subscribe. I really appreciate it. And as always, I will see you on the next video.